What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got quite the story time for y'all. You know, it's not every day that a parent goes out and fights a kid, and it's especially more rare for that to happen in school, but every now and then the stars align and apparently you get a crazy story time. Regardless, the story time today was sent in by a subscriber named Jared that apparently witnessed the ultimate cringe, you know, a dad coming to school to back up his son. And I figured it would make a good video. That's what we're going to be doing. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. But before we do, be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam whatsoever. Your parents are going to come to your school and embarrass you equally as hard. And trust me, you don't want that to happen. So I'd press it. And, yeah, let's get into it.
Nice rack in her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million, swear.
Alright, so I'm pretty sure everybody has had a stupid argument in middle school or something about like, my dad can beat up your dad, you know what I mean? But honestly, I didn't think most people ever turned that into like, my dad can beat you up. I thought that was especially obvious. I mean, obviously I'm an adult now, but like, yeah, back in the day, dude, your dad probably could beat me up because, you know, I was a child, like if someone ever used this line. Anyways, I guess some people take it a little bit too far. I'm gonna introduce some characters real quick that you gotta know. The kid that ends up calling his dad like a little baby and like, oh, dad, come to school and fight everybody. His name is Edward because, you know, that's his name. And as for his dad name, I'm gonna refer to him exclusively as Baldy Jones because I just feel like that sets the tone incredibly well. So, Edward and Baldy Jones, the bad guys. And Edward was the type of kid who liked to start problems, you know, especially problems that he couldn't solve. Like, he was a smaller kid, but he would also go after and bully the largest kids in school, get them really worked up, very upset, and then run away. And as he's running away, his favorite thing to do would be, like, play the victim, pretend that they were coming after him for no reason to get them in trouble. He was like one of those kids. He just liked to, start problems that he couldn't necessarily handle. And one day, you know, there was one event that he was just insanely jealous of. Basically, it was near the end of the school year and they were doing one of those things where like, you know, oh, we're gonna have an assembly and all the kids that were really smart and worked hard are gonna get an award. I don't know, like, if other schools had those too. I knew what he was talking about, dude. Like, the AB Honor Roll Awards at the end of the year. And listen, it was gonna be a whole assembly. It was gonna be this big thing. And, you know, the people that were getting this award, their parents were gonna be there. And it was gonna be one of those events where the principal gets up and is like, these kids are incredible. I wish everyone would try this hard in school. The future wouldn't scare me so much if kids all acted like these kids. Like, whatever, just parent, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think anyone really likes those assemblies. No one likes sitting in a room full of their peers to celebrate academics or whatever. But the one thing is, like, you just don't destroy it. And as I said, for whatever reason, Edward was just insanely jealous about this event because he didn't win the award. You know, he had been apparently really trying to get an award and he didn't win one and he thought the school had cheated him out of it. So instead of just kind of being like, oh well, I have to sit in this assembly, it is what it is, the entire day before they go, he's just talking about how anti this assembly he is. He's telling everyone that, like, he's pissed off that he didn't win it. He's not even gonna go. If they make him go, he might just ruin the award. Blah, 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 blah. And of course, everyone thought that he was just talking, but secretly, I guess he had decided that, like, if he wasn't gonna be getting the reward, then, you know, he might as well just ruin the entire thing for everybody. I didn't get A's and B's, so therefore I'm gonna ruin the event for everybody else, was his logic for some reason. Which is perfectly good logic to me, you know, if you can't win something fairly, just ruin it for everybody else. That won't have any negative consequences. Nobody's gonna, like, make fun of you for that. Anyways, his ultimate plan to make sure that the event goes sideways and nobody actually cheers for the winner is he goes and takes one of those, like, old ketchup squeeze bottles from the lunchroom and he fills it up with ketchup and vinegar. And he, in his head, nobody knew this at the time, I'm letting you know what his plan is though, he's gonna run up to everybody as they're getting the award and he's going to just spray this bottle of vinegar and ketchup all over them. And you know, all of the kids that are winning the award or like their parents are gonna be there, they're gonna be taking pictures, so obviously they're a little bit more dressed up. Some of them were in suits and his plan is to just ruin everybody's nice clothes by spraying all this stuff on it. And obviously, on the scale of pranks, it's not like dangerous, no one's going to get hurt, but you know, you're winning an award in a nice suit and then somebody runs up spraying you with ketchup and vinegar, you're probably gonna be like, oh, this guy just sucks. Anyways, he like stuffs it in his jacket pocket, and then everybody gets to go to the assembly. So they're all getting crowded into this auditorium for the assembly, and there's like 15 kids that are winning an award or sitting up on the stage, obviously, and they're dressed up, you know, they're like, oh, look at us, we're fantastic, we're gonna win this award. They're pretty happy looking, not for long with Edward the Ketchuper around the corner. Anyways, everybody gets stuffed in there. You know, like the part in the assembly when there's the block at the door and the teachers are like, all right, guys, let's go. And you literally just feel like cattle getting crowded in. Well, that finally ends. Everybody sits down. The lights go down and the principal walks up to like the podium thing in the middle of the stage. And they start doing the thing that they do, you know, where they're like explaining everything going on and how incredible it is. And the speech is a little something like, these students have worked incredibly hard to get here, okay? They showed up on time. They did their homework. And for that, we give them millions. You know, just like one of those speeches. And as they're in the middle of the speech giving it and like talking about how proud they are, there's a commotion on the side of the stage and Edward is like sprinting up, kind of pushing people out of the way to get up there. And he gets past everybody on the side of the stage and starts running into the middle of it. And as he's running into the middle of the stage, there's like a school aide behind him trying to, you know, like grab him and pull him back so he doesn't interrupt everything. But of course, Edward ends up getting up there. And he's in the middle of the stage and he looks at the crowd and he goes, this is for not giving me the award. And he turns back to everybody, pulls out the ketchup bottle, and just starts spraying this concoction of crap all over these people that are winning the award. And of course, as soon as you like see this middle of the assembly interrupted by this guy just spraying everybody with ketchup, a lot of the crowd is kind of like gasping, not really knowing what to do. Like, wait, what's going on? Like, everyone's just really, really confused. All right, guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you take a look at your screen now, you're going to see an Xbox gift code. For those of you that don't know, I give away one of these in every single video as a way to say thank you to subscribing and turning on those notifications. So if you haven't already, you should. And other than that, I'm going to ask y'all to just please take a second to press the like button. If you go down there and click it, it just helps the video do better and I'd really appreciate it. And while you're down there, go ahead and comment the word schmoople down there if you're an absolute G who never ever dies in Call of Duty. Anyways, the people that are like getting sprayed that were going to win the award have different reactions. You know, some of them are very upset. One of the girls that was winning the award starts crying. One of the guys starts crying on the other end too. Like, everyone's just insanely upset. But two of them end up getting up and starting to run after Edward, almost looking for revenge for like embarrassing them in front of everybody when they were supposed to be winning the award. And for some reason, I guess Edward didn't think it was going to be possible for him to get beat up for this, but like, I'm gonna be honest, you just kind of got to expect that. If you spray something all over somebody and like know that they're gonna be annoyed with it, they might hit you. I'm not saying I condone violence, alright? YouTube, if you're listening to this, don't hit anyone. Don't do it. I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, alright? That being said, if you spray someone with ketchup and vinegar when they're wearing a suit, they might hit you. It's the reality of life. I can't change the fact that you have to expect to be punched if you do that. Anyways, these two dudes are like running after Edward, and Edward is just not very tall or big or fast or like anything that you would think someone that would do something like this would be. You would think that like, all right, if I'm gonna have this plan where I'm gonna piss people off and run, I might as well make sure that I'm fast enough to run away, but he's just not. These two dudes run up on him and they grab him, and one of them instantly just kind of like hits him because he's obviously mad about the situation. And at that point, Edward turns into the Tasmanian devil dude. He just starts like writhing in every direction, swinging his arms around, just like basically doing everything he can to just get out of their arms. Almost like, you ever seen a deer that's like tangled up in a fence, you know, and it's just kind of just going crazy to try to get like untangled from whatever it's in? That's basically what he's doing. And so obviously it turns into a little bit of a fight. It's like a 2v1, but he's the one that started swinging on both of them. And when they're fighting, the crowd's obviously like, oh my gosh, freaking out. And they're probably about halfway in between the stage and the auditorium doors at this point because he had tried to escape. And the teachers pull them apart, and just because of how mad the two guys in suits were, they kind of get pulled off of Edward, but Edward doesn't really have anyone like holding him back. So he just sprints out the door. He runs out of the auditorium into the parking lot. And when he takes off, the teachers that are holding back the two dudes let go of them, thinking that it's over. Well, the two dudes in suits take off into the parking lot after Edward. They're not done yet, right? And at that point, the subscriber, Jared, wants to see what's going on, so he's like, I'm heading out there. So he takes off after them to get out there. And he gets out there pretty quick before most of the other people had come out. But at that point, all the kids are trying to escape, and that traffic jam happens, where like everybody's in the door, you really can't get out, no one's moving. And so the teachers weren't ready to escape, so they're behind this traffic jam. So they're not out there yet. There's no one to break this up. There's no one to like see what's going on. And outside, what's currently happening is Edward is now on the phone with his dad. He had called his dad, and he's saying that these two kids are jumping him for no reason, and he needs help. Which definitely is not what happened, all right? He's probably just insanely scared to get beat up, that he's like, whatever, I'm gonna get my dad involved, and my dad's not gonna back me up if I say the truth. So yeah, Dad, these two kids are jumping me for no reason. I'm gonna leave out the part where, like, I ruined their suit, ruined their award, all that stuff. That's not important. Just come help me now. Anyways, at that point, the two kids start chasing him, and he's literally playing, like, getaway, like tag with these dudes. Just running away from them around the parking lot, trying to just keep his distance. But he must have lived close to the school because his dad pulls up like 2 minutes later in this SUV, and he hops out of this SUV in flip-flops. And the crowd at that point has come more out of the auditorium, but like the teachers aren't out yet. The kids were kind of strategically to keeping them away from the rest of this so they couldn't break it up. And so the dad's out of the car in flip-flops, and Edward is just running around the parking lot with the two kids chasing him. And the dad at that point probably looks around, looks at the situation, sees his son's getting chased by two people, and he makes a really stupid choice. I understand he thought his kid's getting jumped or whatever, but you can't hit a kid. Like, it's just really illegal. And even then, let's just pause for a second. If your kid is getting jumped, why would there just be a huge crowd of kids standing there watching it, doing nothing? Like, do you really think kids at your school would just watch somebody get jumped and do nothing about it? Like, if somebody was really getting beat up by two people at one time and it was not a fight, I feel like people at my school would have broken it up. Maybe that's just me, maybe your guys' school is different, but like, anyways, he just makes the wrong decision to get involved. And so Baldy Jones, Edward's dad over here, runs up behind one of the kids who's trying to chase down Edward and just clotheslines him like there's no tomorrow. Arm out, right under the chin, just lays this dude out. And obviously, when he smacks the floor, the entire crowd is just kind of in shock, and they turn on the grown man who just clotheslines somebody. Like, they don't really know what's happening, but they start booing and screaming at him, telling him to get out of here. And listen, somehow this dad is so bad at fighting that, like, the kid that he just clotheslined gets up and he starts going after the dad. Like, all right, you want to clothesline me? You can have it too. So now this dude is chasing the dad. And the dad, instead of standing and fighting his ground on the dude he just clotheslined, starts trying to run as well. And maybe it's just a family thing, like in that family, if someone's coming at you, you just sprint the other direction as fast as humanly possible. But keep in mind that he hopped out of the SUV in flip-flops. So he's trying to run away from this dude, but he doesn't get very far because he's in flip-flops, and those aren't known for their, like, iconic speed boosting abilities. If anything, it just makes running even more embarrassing, because there's no way to run it in flip-flops and look cool. Like, just the way you kind of have to angle your foot to keep it in the shoe, like, you're not looking cool running away from anything in flip-flops. And not to mention, on top of like looking weird running in flip-flops, it also is just the most embarrassing soundtrack to your escape. Like whap, 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 whap. Like that's what you sound like as you're trying to run away from somebody that's like beating you up. Oh no, where did he go? We'll never be able to find him. Wait guys, be quiet. Found him, he's over there. Anyways, the kid catches up with Baldy Jones pretty quickly, and the kid, who's not a tiny kid, grabs Baldy Jones by the waist, picks him up, and just slams him down in front of everybody. And listen, bro, it's already bad enough that you're gonna just like clothesline some random kid, but on top of that, if you're gonna clothesline a kid, you then can't let him body slam you. Like, dude, are you serious? You just got body slammed by someone you clotheslined. By the way, it's an 8th grader. Just like, how does it get any worse than this? Anyways, the crowd at that point freaks out. They lose it. They're all screaming. They're like, oh my god, oh. Obviously, the dude that just body slammed this dad is gonna be like the coolest kid in school forever now. and Baldy Jones has now officially acquired the largest L in history. Like, I really don't think there's a way for Baldy Jones to ever live this down, ever. Anyways, as I said, the crowd's going wild, everyone's screaming, jumping, freaking out, and, you know, the problem with everyone freaking out is that what they were doing to block the teachers at that point is like this group of kids had kind of locked arms together and made a human chain to block off the entrance to this parking lot. And the teachers could either go around and hop the chain link fence or like try to get through this human chain. But when everybody starts jumping, putting their hands in the air, freaking out, the chain obviously breaks. And at that point, teachers start rushing in and they start trying to like, you know, subdue the madness. And they have to pull the kid off Baldy Jones because he's just going savage mode on him. Like, who do you think you are to clothesline me? Blah, 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 blah. They break it up. They pull apart Edward and the other guy. And that's when Edward and Baldy Jones start screaming that, like, they just got jumped. They just got unfairly attacked. They're going to be suing. And listen, I understand that it's America and everybody threatens to sue everyone every 12 seconds, but I just feel like when there's security camera footage of you clotheslining somebody and then that person body slamming you, you might not want to bring up charges. Especially because there's security cameras and a crowd of people that just watched it, bro. Like, listen, I guess it's not okay to lie, but I could understand like a little bit more if it had been a situation where there's no cameras and nobody there and you can just say what you want. You're in a parking lot at a school, bro. They've got like 50 different angles of that, dude. Like a literal crowd of 800 people just watched you do it. What are you talking about? Anyways, at that point, the teachers just want to calm it down, so they, like, pull them into the office to discuss what happened. And nobody really knows what goes down in the office, but Edward gets expelled. His dad gets, like, a bar placed on him where he can never come back to the school, but for some reason doesn't get, like, arrested for it. I guess it's something like the parents of the kids involved have to want to, or, like, I don't know, something technicality or whatever. Regardless, I will say that Edward probably learned his lesson. I'm gonna assume that he's never gonna go after and spray anybody with any type of condiment ever again, and if he does, he's definitely not gonna call his dad for backup, because it did not go well last time. But, yeah, anyways, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought, of course, and if you really want to help me out, you can check out the intro song down below, along with a link down there to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. Or, of course, you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout if you're going to get the best energy drink for gamers by gamers. You might as well use code SCRUBBY. And last but certainly not least, as we all know, October is upon us, which means Halloween is coming up. And if you take a look at your screen now, you'll see the coolest Halloween merch to ever exist in the history of the planet, which can be yours with a trip down to the description. But, yeah, on that note, guys, I think that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.